Hey folks, Andrew with Las Cetas Vineyards here. Another get to know the staff, and I'm here today with Sommer and John, and they are here with us today together because they're married and they're a lovely couple. How many years has it been?
23.
23. We couldn't remember the first date, but now we do. 23 years. This guy.
So, Sommer, you currently hold the record for the longest tenured part-time employee here at Las Cetas Vineyards.
Where's my case of wine? Where's my case of wine? Thank you.
You also have the distinction of being the person who has referred the most people who have been hired here at Las Cetas Vineyards. So more employees, myself included, have come to work at Las Cetas Vineyards because of you than any other employee. So, my first question for you is, what makes you so passionate about LPV?
Okay, so Las Positas is an amazing place for me. When we moved here from a small mountain town in Shasta County, we were new, obviously, to live more into the living in a town that had so much, wine culture, wine history, wine experiences. And so when I first started, dabbling around town, just testing it out, going, what is this all about, this Livermore Valley, because I'd never heard of it. I grew up in Northern California, right, Chico, and we heard of Napa, right? So I was like, Livermore Valley, right? What's this all about? And so when I'd go around, the one place I loved to come back to and taste was Las Positas. I loved the wine, I loved the beauty of the vineyard, and Kurt, quickly becomes your friend, right? So I'd come in and I was like, I need to bring all my friends here. And so all my out of town guests, I'd come here, and I'm a teacher, and at that point, I was leading student activities and just focusing on the content that I was teaching, history. And Kurt was like, you're here all, I hate to be saying this, but you're here every weekend, you should just work here. And I was like, yeah, no, you're right, you're not, right? And I love the wine so much. So I started working here, and then when you work at a place with beautiful people, a beautiful atmosphere, and our winemaker is one of the most talented people I think ever. The wine is beautiful, the people are beautiful. You want to share that beautiful experience with others, and so that's why you guys should come work here, because honestly it feels like home. It's like a family, so it's good.
Yeah. And John, a lot of people say you should never mix business and family. So how did you end up working here with your wife?
My wife, being a teacher, takes it very seriously. I thought it was the best way for us to spend time together, because 90% of the time we get along, so we might as well work together. And working at a place as beautiful as this, learn wine together, be behind a bar together, and serve wine together was a perfect fit.
And you're going to tell a story about the chairs?
You tell the story about the chairs,
Okay,
Summer.
so when I first started, I'll never forget, I feel like we were pretty small operational. We were doing weddings. There was Deb was our wedding coordinator, and there's only a couple of us that would work weddings, and I'll never forget one, it was so hot out, and we had grass out in where it's the patio now, and we had all these chairs, and I was like, oh my god, there's only two of us to put 150 chairs away. I was like, I'm gonna call my husband for help, because he would come in and talk to Kurt and taste and whatnot. And so I'm like, can you come help? So then he came, and I suckered him in, as I do with lots of things in my life. I think I did it with you too at student activities. I'm really good at being hey, you want to help do this? And so I got him in here, and then you just became part of the crew.
Part of the Las Positas event crew.
Yeah, which is fun.
So both of you are considered tasting room associates, for whatever that means here at Las Cetas Vineyards. But what made you want to work in the tasting room? What made you want to work in the wine industry and become a tasting room associate?
Las Positas being my second winery, because I used to originally work at Kincannon. That's where I started working in the industry. Coming from a beer background and being in a wine valley. It's easier to learn the culture of wine by becoming a wine tasting room person. So I initially got a job working at Concannon, pouring wine there, fell in love teaching wine to people, pouring wine, telling them about the different varietals and that type of thing. I transferred to Las Positas because it was smaller, more intimate than a big corporation like Concannon, because Concannon's been here forever. Las Positas is very family run. You know the owner all the time. You know the winemaker. If you have questions, he's very accessible. That's the best thing about Las Positas. And in order to teach that, it's easier to have that togetherness to pour wine because you know what's expected. So that's why I enjoy pouring wine here, especially.
Awesome.
And when he says he has a beer background, that background is he drinks beer. So I will, a warning to all wives out there, when you have a husband that's a beer drinker, when you convert him to wine, he then drinks all your wine. And
It's a more expensive, highly.
We'll buy a nice
An
bottle.
$8 6-pack is different than a $40 bottle.
I'm like, go drink your beer, because I'll come home and I'm like, this bottle was like of Meritage, was delicious. I'm like, what are you doing? What? I should have just been
Great,
selfish.
it's filled with antioxidants.
I should have been selfish and said, just stick to your beer. That's his beer background though. I like beer. Like Homer Simpson is his background. Like, me drink beer and donuts. Right? Not like he was out there brewing it, home brew, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, he wasn't brewing it, he was drinking it.
My gig is up.
My beer experience. So many ounces at a time.
And Summer, what made you want to work in the wine industry?
Okay. So, let's get real here, people. No. Okay, so my background is a little bit different. So, a little bit about me. I grew up in a home with my father is a recovered alcoholic. He has not had a sip or a drop of alcohol since I was 11 years old. And so from a pretty young age, there was no alcohol in my home ever. Like we go to dinner, there's none, right? I had never tasted wine, never thought anything about wine, anything. And then when I was in high school, I was given an opportunity, and I worked at McDonald's to raise money to go and take part of this opportunity to be an exchange student, and it was in France. So I saved up all my money, busted my butt, did it, and I got placed with a winemaking family in Jarnac in the Cognac region. So when I got to France, Jean-Claude, which is my French father, if you will, he is a winemaker, and he was like the carbon copy of my father. He made wine, my father made asphalt. So, but they were like funny characters in a really small village where they had like the bread man that would come, and it was just like such a cool experience. And I got to see firsthand a family-owned winery and how they did it and everything. It was like so eye-opening, so amazing. They would make wine for the House of Cognac, and the House of Cognac would take the wine and then turn it into cognac, right? And that was obviously known for the region. They took me to Bordeaux for my first time ever. I've since been back last year, and it was just like eye-opening. The wine history, the wine culture, the family culture. You know, you would sit down at a meal, and that meal would take hours, and people would just talk, and you would drink wine, and it's a slower pace of life, and it was beautiful. And that's also where I first fell in love with history, because I was never a good student. Really wasn't. I have a learning disability. I was told that growing up, so I was like, thought school was not my thing. And so, you know, I never thought I'd go to college or anything like that. And this family, they took me to a village that had been ransacked and taken over by the Nazis. And that's the first time whatever I had seen in a book became so real to me. And so I truly believe travel is like the most transformative thing, and I fell in love with wine, which is this job, and with what I also do during the week, which is teaching history.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I have some questions about what your favorite is. John, what's your favorite drink? No, alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
My favorite drink is alcoholic. Is vodka. I like the brand is Chopin. I just like it on the ice or neat, nice and simple.
Nice. Summer?
Right, I don't like vodka. Usually, I would like have bad experiences, right? But he did get this vodka from Poland that was actually really good. But I am going to use the same answer that I tell my students. Okay, and I'm not trying to keep it real. I'll keep it decent here. But when we moved from Shasta County, where our water came from a natural spring, and it tasted like flowers and butter on your lips, and you're like, oh, this is the gift of God. We moved to Livermore, where the water did not taste like that. It tasted like a butt, right? And I was like, oh, Livermore. Ah.
We went there.
I'm sorry. I didn't say I could have used a different word. And I was like, oh, this tastes like poo, right? And it literally, it smells like it. I'm sorry. I truly feel like I'm a Livermorean now too. And like, but the water here is not good. I'm sorry, people. And so when my students are like, Newkirk, that's what they call me. Newkirk, can we do something nice for you? We want to bring you something. I'm like, oh, if you go to Starbucks, kids, can you get me the triple filtered water that they have from the tap? And it is straight up just the most beautiful water that I can get in this area.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, what about your favorite meal or type of food?
Okay, I love all food.
Uh,
This is why I'm in therapy a little bit. But I like all food, but I know I cannot live long without some spicy food, and especially Mexican. Living in California, we are so blessed because him and I met in Alaska. We were going to college up in Fairbanks. That's where we met. We're both California kids. There's no good Mexican food in Alaska. At least there wasn't, and I don't know if there is. So there's an opening for a business opportunity. But you need to have spicy deliciousness like salsa, guacamole. This guy makes the best one right here. And I can't live without Mexican food for that long. I love that stuff. I could eat it every day. Tacos every day for sure. It's the best thing. And jalapeno, lots of jalapenos.
I'm the exact opposite. Bland, simple, but I love meat. I like, large.
I like meat.
I mean, a medium rare, closer to the rare side porterhouse is perfect for me. Yes, that's a big slab of meat, but you get everything together in one. So yes, it would have to be porterhouse.
Nice. Deciding what to have for dinner must be interesting in your household.
He doesn't cook.
I don't
much
cook. I
because-
just sit there and enjoy it.
So like my. Okay.
But I do have to pile a sack in the morning, so I'm ready for the evening.
To be married to me, he has to take antacids all the time.
Nice.
But it works out. My mom did buy him a cookbook once so he could because it was like, John, I'm gonna help make dinner, and I was like, what is this? Lamb chicken? Like somebody's over the hospital. I know that's so terrible of me, but I do love to cook. I think it's fun, right? I think it's fun. And my mom bought him a crock pot book from my mom. It was like how to make love and dinner at the same time. This is when we have 3 kids. This is when I think we're only on child number 2.
Yeah, because it takes 30 minutes to prepare the crock pot, and then you can do what you need to do.
I don't know what my mom was thinking, but then I'm like, so obviously it worked. We have a 3rd child, so he may not know how to cook very well, but where he lacks spice in the kitchen.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Maybe.
All right.
I'll get back to
What is?
Wow.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks for the 3rd child.
What is your favorite Las Positas Vineyards wine?
My favorite Las Positas wine at the moment is the Syrah. And in the past has always been the Syrah.
I was going to say at the moment. I'm like, you sleep with the damn bottle all the time.
The thing with Las Positas and Syrah is originally, like back to the story with the chairs, I wasn't employed here. In order for them to say thank you for helping out, they would give me a bottle of Syrah for helping out. So I stayed because it was so good. And then 2012 came out, phenomenal. It's an amazing wine. And so I stayed from then till now, which is 2016.
Now it's 2016?
Mm-hmm.
No, now it's
Well, the
2020.
2016 Syrah.
Yeah.
And it's 2020.
Yes.
So so basically I'm staying in Las Positas for the Syrah cycle, which is every
4
4
years.
6 years. So,
So we should be harvesting one this year then.
so yeah, so I will be here for guaranteed another 4 or 5 years.
What about you, Summer?
Okay, well, let me tell you first. Come into the Newkirk bedroom, picture it. Newkirk bedroom. I roll over, there's the dog. Past the dog is the bottle of Syrah. And then there's John. And he's snuggling the Syrah bottle. There's times where I'm like, it's Friday afternoon. We're all off work. What are we doing? Where's John? Oh, he's at Las Positas drinking Syrah. So that's his first love. Before me, even he loves that damn Syrah. So we don't agree on this. Like, I like the Syrah. It's cool. So, it's cool. I'll drink it. But when it comes to Las Positas wines, to me, and we get people asking this all the time, I think, when we're pouring, which one's your favorite? And I'm like, it's hard because it's almost like the 3 children we have at home. Like, I can't really choose a favorite. It kind of depends on, like, my mood, how they're presenting themselves at the time, right? And so typically though, if I would say like right now, what I like to enjoy is our Tempranillo is super, it's always been so amazing, right? And before I worked at Las Positas, I shied away, especially from whites, and we are really known for our reds. Our blends are amazing, obscure's amazing, and that's the thing when I start talking about every wine, I'm like, oh, all of them are just so good. They're unique, they have unique personalities, right? And it's kind of like, depends on what you're in the mood for. Our Albarino, I would never really think to look at a white wine. I know it's terrible. I just was like never into white wines. And that could be because when I was staying in France, I was really never introduced to a lot of white wines with the family I lived with. But our Albarino is amazing, right? It's really good. It does something.
It's alright.
I like it. And you should too. No. But they're all good. Take them all home. They're the best things ever.
What is something that people may not know about you? Something that would surprise people? A deep, dark secret, a skeleton in your closet.
Deep dark secret. Well, being with my wife, I can't relinquish home.
Oh, I know them all. You're talking your sleep. You're talking your sleep. I know them.
I don't really have a deep dark secret that no one would know about except.
I feel like you're Barbara Walters.
Mm.
Like, let's peel back the shell. How do you feel? Who is the real John Newkirk?
I think for me, nature is probably my number one love. That's why I went to Alaska to go to school, because I wanted to, study wolves by myself. That was the one thing that was my number one passion that most people, besides the people that really, really know me, know about me, is, nature's always been my number one love. Like, I'll sit and watch, Nat Geo all day and have the opportunity and dream about going to Antarctica. Yeah, most people don't. Yeah.
When we were dating in Alaska, I'd be like, this is before cell phones really were a thing. They were a thing, but they weren't a thing, right? And I'm like, where's John? I haven't seen him. And he'd be like, I was out just sitting in nature. And it's like 60 degrees out, like 60 below. Like, it's hella cold out. He's like, I was out there watching these foxes or whatever. I was like, homie, you're gonna get eaten by a bear. Like, what? Right? But he wanted to dance with wolves. Or maybe not dance. I don't know. What's that one movie you love? Your favorite movie, what is it?
My favorite movie?
Yeah, that you watch over and over. That wolf one.
What is that?
Oh, it's not, and I love it, but I don't remember it. It's that wolf one.
From Disney.
Yeah, what's the name of it? Why, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Never Cry Wolf.
Never Cry Wolf. Seen it way too many times.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that one. I'll have to Disney Plus.
It's based on a Farley Mowat book.
Okay.
It's about a scientist that goes and studies the wolves' interaction with caribou.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Summer?
Okay, I'm a pretty open book.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah, I know.
You just invited millions of people on the internet into your bedroom.
That's true.
Okay.
I know. It's like, okay, so, and I think that's like one of my downfalls, that I am open. I'm so like open that like I feel like I'm very vulnerable, which maybe that's like something I need to pull back. But by the way, this whole thing has been, like, this whole, like, COVID thing, I hate COVID more than the Tiger King hates Carol Baskins. Trust me, I'm an online teacher now. What the hell? Everybody, and if you haven't seen it, please watch it. But what I have been, like, thinking is, and I've always wanted to do, and when I was younger, I always think about the high school summer, because I never thought college was an option. I'm the first one in my family to, like, in my immediate family to go and graduate from college. So I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. Humor was like a saving, it was a therapy technique, I think, growing up in a home that was sometimes chaotic, I'm not gonna lie. And it's like, humor is like how we heal and how we handle things. And so, like, I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. That's been like my lifelong goal. I'm just doing teaching for the poos and giggles. No, but for the material. There's a lot of material out there in the teaching world. But I just find humor in things that most people don't find funny, which is also, like, awkward. But I have started to write some stuff. My goal is, I said this at once, like, before 40, that's coming past. Before 50, I'm gonna do a stand-up show, and it might not be funny, because I actually don't think I'm really that funny. I don't think I'm funny, like, I'm teacher funny, right? Which is not that funny, it's kind of dorky funny, right? We're good at being dorks, right? But I'm gonna do it, just because I think it would be fun. My son is really funny, though.
Yeah, so all viewers out there, when comedy comes back to Las Positas, Summer's gonna be one of our opening acts. You can count on that. What is, last question, what is something that you think you're passionate about outside of the winery?
I'm looking at you.
Passionate outside the winery.
What are you passionate about?
I think my biggest passion outside of the winery is I love coaching. I coach water polo at Granada High School, and I think that's something that I, do 100%. I'm never home. Water polo becomes a priority, and that's something that I'm very compassionate about. I love teaching kids. I love that bond between the athlete, making them better individuals. That's something that I enjoy.
So for me, something I'm passionate about. Again, this, like, current situation has lent itself to a lot of, I think, unique opportunities to reflect on our lives and, like, do some accounting and, introspection. So I realized I don't, like, have hobbies. Like, I don't make things. I do like to cook, but, like, but I look at my other job, teaching, and to me, it's not just a job. And I'm not just trying to say this, I really like that. That feeds my soul. And, like, currently it's been really, that's why I got this wine shirt, adulting wine, because adulting's hard. And right now it's really hard. I love to interact with students. I love to see the light bulbs come on. High school kids especially are, like, so amazing. They see things from a different perspective, and I learn so much from them. And so getting to not having an opportunity face to face with them is really hard, but, like, getting the opportunity to be creative. To me, like, lesson design and planning is art. Yeah, it's not on a canvas. It's not something you wear. It's not something you can hang up, but it's fun. And I know, like, when you and I got to teach together, that's one of the things I enjoyed a lot, is that ability to feed, especially your young mind, and you always look at things like you're an ideas guy. So I love that. And I think that's what I'm really passionate about.
I would agree.
Right? So,
And it's definitely creative, definitely something that I miss working with even my ESS kids right now. Is there anything you'd like to tell the audience before we sign off?
No?
No?
But enjoy your wine.
enjoy your way. But before you do, so during our time in the COVID whatever crisis, whatever we want to call this, poo show, okay, we got this kite for our daughter. She turned 13 over the whole quarantine, right? So she turned 13, and we're like, oh, 13's special. I mean, she's no longer a tween, she's a teen. So we got this kite, and I was, like, amazed because, like, like some people have never even flown a kite, or it's been years, and like I don't even know. I was like telling John, like I don't even know if our kids have flown kites ever. So we got this, and honestly, this is one of my favorite wine pairings: kite flying and wine. Tried it. We had such a good time. We went out to this like field, and like our son, it was the funniest thing watching him try to fly his kite. It was so fun. And now that with new technology, as seen on TV, they have these cool things where you're not fighting with the stinking string. Remember when we were kids, 70s and 80s, and you'd come home from kite flying, the string would be all around you? Like now it's super easy. And it's so fun, and it's like one of my favorite Disney movies is Mary Poppins. I've always loved it. And I love the end when the dad plays and like connects. He's not so caught up in his work, which I do have a problem with because my passion is teaching, but it's also one of my downfalls is I get super like distracted by life. But taking a moment to go fly a freaking kite, and then you should always enjoy it with some wine. Like that's a beautiful day. Kite flying, wine, and of course you should have cheese, because.
Right.
And you should ask Andrew what cheese to have, because what you told us, I forget the name of it. But
Holy cow with the Syrah.
Holy cow with the Syrah was. Did you tell these people yet?
I have not, but that's going to be on my next menu, so yeah.
Holy
It's a good
cow.
one.
It's
a good one.
super good.
All right, folks. Well, I hope you enjoy getting to know John and Summer a little bit more. Until next time, stay safe out there.
Cheers.
Cheers.